Kristen. All right, so I'm gonna start over and share my screen again. All right, so can everybody see that? Awesome. All right, so I'll start over. Those of you guys that are on here are either invited by somebody on our team or you've reached out and said that you kind of want to know a little bit more information about coaching. Please feel free to ask questions along the way. You can pop a question in the comment box at the bottom there, or you can just pop in and unmute yourself and ask a question. So there's so many of us on our team, so there's going to be an array of different people that are popping on and they're listening to this, whether you're listening to it live or recording. But please know that you are here for a reason. You are here because one of us invited you because we see something in you in coaching, and we would just love to share this opportunity with you. So let me move on to, if I can. So Hannah and I are going to be sharing a little bit about our story. There are so many different stories, and we come from so many different backgrounds on this team. And this is just a little sneak peek of a couple of our stories. But like I said, our team is so vast and there are so many different stories. We all come from different backgrounds. So we do encourage you to kind of find out a little bit more about our team. And some of you will click, more with another person's story. Some will click with another. But just know that we all come from super different range of stories and backgrounds, and you are more than welcome on this team. So Hannah, did you want to start out a little bit about your story, and then I can follow up with mine? Just kind of how you got started.
All right. Hello, ladies. So I started with Beachbody a little over 2 years ago. But when I started, I was just a customer and I was looking for something that I just wanted to be healthy again. I wanted to lose weight. And thankfully, somebody told me about Beachbody. So I decided to do it. I did multiple rounds of 21-day fix. I did the portion containers, so the Ultimate Portion Fix and Shakeology. And in 11 months, I lost 117 pounds. I also, in that, just started feeling so great, gained confidence, and I was just loving life again, which is so, so exciting. In that process, I joined the Beachbody Challenge, and when I became a finalist, I started posting about my journey. So I had lost the weight, and I'm like, okay, I need to tell people about this. I wasn't a coach or anything, but I knew that if I could just help a couple people with my story, sharing my story, that, I wanted to do that. So I started posting, at that point I had lost like 100 pounds and I had posted that on my social media. This was prior to the Beachbody Challenge, and I started getting a lot of people that were like, oh my gosh, what did you do? I want to know what you did. And I was actually sending people to different coaches I knew because I was not a coach at the time. And it was because I didn't really understand what coaching was. I thought it was way more than what it was. And I just had a lot of misconceptions. So that's what's really good about these calls is we can kind of, dive into what we actually do as coaches. And so now I'm in the Beachbody Challenge. I'm like, okay, I really, I have all these people that are coming to me. And it was until one person said to me when I was like, yeah, I can find you a coach. She was like, no, I want you to be my coach. And I'm like, oh, okay. So it's so much more than just like signing somebody up. Like they want you to be their coach. So I signed up and, I knew nothing about what coaches made, really what they did. And I just started learning. I started learning what coaching really was and led with a passion of helping people. And as I started doing that, as I started coaching, number one, it kept me accountable. I had lost the weight, but it's just as important to keep the weight off, right? So I stayed accountable. And as I started sharing my story, reaching out to people and bringing them into this amazing community, my business started exploding. I was, now not only working on my health and fitness, helping other people work on their health and fitness, and also making extra income. And with just staying consistent with that, I have built this amazing business and could not imagine my life without coaching. I wish so bad I would have started coaching, prior, like as soon as I started, but I didn't know really about coaching. So a lot of times I tell my coaches all the time, it is so imperative to start right away because people want to go on that journey with you. So people saw my before and after, but they never got to see that journey and do that with me. And that is the one thing I wish I could change, but I can't go back. So you guys can start that by you're now starting your health and fitness journey, or maybe you're even in the middle of it, or maybe you are, closer to where your goals are of where you wanted to be. But there's no better time to start than right now. And that is one thing I wish I could have go back and do, but I can't. So if I could tell you all of the people that have said, Hannah, I wish so bad, like I see your before and after, but I wish so bad I could have gone on that journey with you. It is what it is. So don't let that pass you by because you don't know who's watching. And as you start posting things, you'll start seeing that people really love that journey of doing this with you. So that's basically how I started with Beachbody, my journey into that, and then how I got started with coaching. And, I've done a lot of really amazing things with my weight loss journey, winning the Beachbody Challenge and all of that. But my greatest joy now is bringing people into this. And like last night, I sent Heather a message. I was literally crying, you guys. The messages that we get from our customers and our coaches is something that I never knew I needed. Like, yes, I still lead with passion of wanting to help people, but it fills my heart so much when I get those messages from people that I'm helping change their lives. So that is why I do this. Again, like the money is great, but nothing can fill my bank account more than what my heart is being filled with in this journey. So now I'm able to help other women, build their business and become successful. And, Heather and I, and so many of our coaches, we are building just an amazing team. And it's just something really, really special.
Yay, thank you so much, Hannah.
Welcome.
All right, so I need to somehow figure out how to get my face on the screen here. All right, so I'm going to share a little bit about my story, and I'm going to kind of go back a ways. So when I had always struggled with both self-image and my body in general, all around my health. And I just really didn't see my own self-worth. That's really where it boiled down to. I didn't see my worth. So I never really took care of myself and my health. But when it got to a point where I really knew I needed to get help, I searched on Instagram and I was looking for motivation and inspiration in some way that I could get motivated to help myself to get healthy. So I had struggled with weight for so long and I had really wrecked both internally, but externally my metabolism. So I really had a lot of work to do, both physically and internally. So I randomly searched on Instagram, found this girl that I started following, and I literally followed this girl for a year before reaching out. So do not do that. Don't wait a whole year before you decide to reach out to somebody. So I waited and I just watched her every single day, and she was so positive and she was always posting her workouts, and she was just such a light in my world at that time that I wanted to make sure that I knew what she was doing every day, like such a stalker. And I'm so grateful that I finally got the nerve up to actually reach out to her. And she kind of explained that she does these online boot camps, and I signed up and I was like, sure, I'm gonna go ahead and, what do I have to lose other than weight? And the first thing that I noticed was this community. The people in this, what she called her boot camp, her online boot camp, were unlike any other women that I had known. So you guys all know, women can be really tough to deal with. Women can kind of be catty. Women a lot of times don't support each other, which is so sad. But this community that we have, these coaches, is a community, is an actual family. So my very first thing I noticed was this community that I was now part of, where the women actually wanted the best for me and were truly supportive of me reaching my goals. These are people that I had never met before in my life, and they were all online, and somehow I had this really great positive community, and I was starting to gain a little bit more of that self-love. So that was my very first thing that made me fall in love with all of this. But obviously I started to feel really great. I was exercising, you know, every day. I started to feel really great. I was drinking Shakeology every day, which we'll get into. I just started feeling good for the first time in as long as I could remember. And when my coach sent me, she actually sent me a little postcard in the mail and said, hey, I think you would make a really great coach. And I was like, nope, there's no way I could ever inspire anybody because I have so much stuff that I have not worked out yet. Little does she know, you know, I come from this huge background of, you know, all these issues. There's no way she thinks, she doesn't know me enough to think I would be a good enough coach. Well, I literally put it in my junk drawer and closed the drawer and didn't go back to it. Well, for 2 nights in a row, I had dreams that I was a coach. And what's funny enough is just a few days before I even got the postcard, I had actually prayed that that God would show me a way to keep going, to not give up, because I was loving so much what I was experiencing. And I asked for him to find a way for me to keep going and not give up, because I given up on myself so many times. And then I realized after my second night of having dreams of me already being a coach, I'm like, well, obviously this is your answer. Like, you should look into this. So I reached out to her and I said, can you tell me a little bit more about what this coaching is? Quickly found out it is not anything that I thought. I did not have to be in perfect shape. I did not have to have all the answers. I did not have to have a fitness background. I did not have to sell anything. There were all these misconceptions that I had. So that, like Hannah said, this is why it's so important that we have these. This is why it's so important that we get new people onto these calls, because I think there are so many different misconceptions about what coaching is, and we are here to let you guys know what this community is really like and how it is that you can become a coach too. So I became a coach and I immediately started helping people. So I was completely on my journey. I did not wait till I was, you know, ready. I didn't feel like I was ready, but right away, people did come on. People came on to do this with me. And like Hannah said, they wanted to go on the journey with me. And that was it was both extremely encouraging for me, but for them, they felt that support from me because I was literally in the trenches with them. So that is super important to remember. Like, no matter where you are inspiring so many people. So I really hit the ground running with my business. And as soon as I started kind of connecting with the coaching side of things, and I saw what this could actually be for me long term, that I could actually leave my job, that I could actually pursue doing this full time, that I could be on all these trips everybody's talking about. Like the girls on the team had just gone to this amazing diamond retreat trip. And there was this huge like summit that they went to in Tennessee. And I was like, oh my gosh, I can now go on these things. If I actually put like, you know, the pedal to the metal, I could actually be on these kinds of trips with them. And so that's what I did. I really just buckled down, but the whole core of what I was doing was helping people and getting in the best shape of my life while I was helping people. And then I was earning an income. And let me just insert the income disclaimer here. Beachbody does not guarantee any level of income. You know, it's dependent on your level of what you put in, and what it is that you put in is what it is that you get out. So there's obviously no guarantee that you will make whatever kind of income, but what you put in, you can get out. So I will say that I was able to leave my part-time job within 10 months. I more than matched my income, and I was able to leave and stay home and be able to do this full time. And that right there, that freedom is something that ignites my fire so much, because I can now share that with other people. That I can now help other people with their time, with their freedom, their health, their self-worth. And that is what gets us so lit up. And like Hannah said, when you get those messages from people, like, for the first time I was able to pay my mortgage on my own, or for the first time ever, you know, I went and got my nails done without feeling weird or guilty, or I bought a pair of shoes or whatever. You know, I mean, there's people that have, you know, literally paid their mortgage every month on their income or more. And knowing that you were able to get past your own fear and now like hand that over to somebody else is really, really incredible. So that's a little bit about my backstory and how I got into coaching and kind of where I am now. And then we'll move forward a little bit. Like I said, if you guys have any questions, please pop them in the chat as we move forward. All right, so would I make a good coach? So there are so many different, like I said, misconceptions and questions about coaching. I'll go over some of the most popular things that we hear on a regular basis. Like, I'm not good at selling. I don't want to be salesy. Well, let me tell you right off the bat, I am not a salesperson at all whatsoever. And that was one of the fears that I had. I don't want to be selling people random things. I actually, for years before, I did sell things, kitchen stuff, and it was the worst situation ever. Like, I strongly disliked it. Having to get all these things together, having to plan all these things, having to take these things to people's houses, having to plan things at people's houses, like it was just not my jam whatsoever. And so when I was, first approach for coaching, that was one of my first fears was, oh my gosh, I don't want to be salesy. I don't want to have to sell people on these things. Well, let me just tell you, you're not a salesperson. And if you come into this thinking that you're going to sell, I'll tell you right now, you're not going to be successful because we as coaches are not salespeople. We share, and our goal is transformation versus transaction. So our goal is not transactions. Our goal is absolutely transformation. And that can be physical transformation. Obviously, like we talked about, internal transformation, financial transformation, that is our goal. So if you are worried about being salesy, a big thing that we do in our trainings is show you how to share and not sell. This is not about any sort of a transaction. What you're doing is sharing your own personal experience with other people, and that inspires them to want to do the same thing for themselves. So another is I don't have time. A lot of us are very pressed for time. I would say the majority of people say that they're busy, but everybody has a little pockets of time that they could use to advance themselves, their business, their health, versus wasting time doing various things. So there's time that say you're watching Netflix, or there's time that you're, scrolling social media. Those are all times where what I call pockets of work time that you can be using to advance yourself forward. So for me, when I first started, I was extremely busy. I'm always busy, but I was busy in a different way. I was a super busy mom. My husband was traveling all the time, so he was gone for long periods of time. And I was also working. And so I was obviously working on my own self, a lot of work on myself. So I felt like I was super busy and I wasn't quite sure how I was going to find the time to help build a business and help other people. But I found those pockets. So I got up an hour earlier in the morning, and I would do an hour of work in the morning. And then I would do 20 or 30 minutes of work on my lunch break. So instead of taking lunch with all the other teachers in the lunchroom and, talking about whatever and whatever was going on in school, I took that time and I found a quiet place and I did my work for 20 to 30 minutes in the middle of the day. And then after the kids went to bed at night, I was doing another hour of work. So we're all like super busy, but you can find time, little pockets throughout your day to be able to build a business. I don't think I can inspire. That is something I hear a lot. And I know because I felt the same way. Like, who would want to listen to me? I've got so much junk I need to work out. I'm not physically fit. I don't think that I have anything that I could give to anybody to inspire. But you guys, that is such a huge lie that you're telling yourself. I guarantee you right now in your life, whether you've worked on yourself or not, right now in your life, you are inspiring somebody. Either your friends or your family or somebody that's watching you on social media. You absolutely have plenty to offer, and so much people are absolutely looking to you for inspiration. So that is a lie that you tell yourself. If you think you cannot inspire, that is absolutely untrue. And we will teach you and we will help you reach that part where you're actually seeing yourself as super valuable to other people, not only yourself. And we call that personal development, and we work on that every single day as coaches. The other is I'm not in shape. I think Hannah and I both covered that pretty well when we were talking, but neither one of us were in good shape. Hannah had already lost her weight, but she had a lot, to go as far as her own health. And she did that a lot of time before that, but then she has also continued to work on that as being a coach. So please don't feel like because you're not in tip-top shape that you cannot coach. That's not what people are wanting. I don't have a big following. Well, I did not at all. I started with less than 300 people on Instagram and had no idea how to use Instagram for a business. I only had ever posted pictures of my kids and my dogs on Instagram. And on Facebook, it was really just family and like old high school and friends. So, and now I've been able to gain a following and use my social media way more for business and be able to connect with so many more people. And again, we have ways to help you do that. We have trainings and we work on our social media so much to be able to create it around your personal brand and be able to bring people in that fit your brand that you can connect with. I don't want to be part of a pyramid scheme. Well, I don't think any of us want to be part of a pyramid scheme. And let me just tell you guys, pyramid schemes are illegal. So if you have heard that before, or if somebody says that to you, isn't that a pyramid scheme, or you're worried about being part of a pyramid scheme, let me tell you, pyramid schemes are illegal. And if a company is found to be a pyramid scheme, they are shut down immediately. So people feel like if you have a company with somebody at the top and then it's tiered down, which is how I would say 99.9% of companies are tiered, including our own government. You know, we have a president and we have everybody, and then we have little voters, right? So you guys have to understand that every single company is situated like this. What's wrong with pyramid schemes is people underneath are working, and up top is making all the money, and nobody down below can ever get anywhere because they're just making money for this person, right? Well, that is not at all how we are set up. That is a pyramid scheme. That is not at all how Beachbody is set up whatsoever. Anybody at any point, at any rank or any point in their coaching business can surpass the person above them. So, and that's at any time, whether it's in the beginning of your business or at the end of your business or whatever. So there's so much. I just realized I misspelled pyramid. It says Pyramid. I had a perfect pyramid scheme. Just looked at and saw that. Totally lost my train of thought there. I'm such like a Nazi when it comes to like spelling and grammar. I'm really surprised I didn't catch that. So anyway, we are absolutely not a pyramid scheme, and you have so much potential to be able to even rank advance any of us coaches, no matter where you start in the business. So I hope that that covers a lot of the questions that I feel like I get most of the time. And if there's more, again, please pop in the chat and I can answer those at the end too. All right, so what does a coach do? So we did cover a lot of this. The number one thing is we work on becoming our best self. So we talk about we are products of what it is that we're talking about. So we're not selling a bunch of things to people. We're working on becoming our very best self through our mind and our body transformation, and then we're sharing that with other people. So we would not want to be talking about something that we're not already experiencing. That goes with the whole selling versus sharing thing. I would never ask somebody to try to get somebody to start something if they hadn't personally done it. Like, you know, say that you guys know there's these influencers on Instagram that are asked to promote a product right before they even ever try it, or whether they like it or not. And that is it goes against what I feel is right. And that is so not who we are. So we work on becoming our best self because it has to start there. And that is how we're able to help other people, is through the work that we've done on ourselves. We're a light for others. So we share our journey. We share everything that we do in order to better ourselves and to help other people along the way. That is so much part of our sharing our journey. And I'll talk a little bit about that too. I guess one of the other things that I get asked is it required that I share before and after pictures, or that I share my workouts on social media? Absolutely not. It is not required. I will say it absolutely helps, because it helps people put themselves in your shoes and think like, oh, I could do that. I could do a 30-minute workout and, get healthier, or I could drink, a shake every single day and help with my cravings. That's why we share that. That's why we do those videos and stuff on Instagram and Facebook. It's just because it helps people understand that they can do that too. But it is not required that you share, your workouts, or that you share a before and after picture. I just encourage you to do so, because it makes you real, and it helps people just understand a little bit more. And then you help others do the same. So just like I said, you get people the same results that you're getting. You take people on the journey with you. So we are doing everything that we're helping other people do. And so that really is what a coach does. You are working on yourself. You are helping other people get set up, and you are their cheerleader along the way. So a little bit about our groups. I talked to you about how I got started originally in an online boot camp. And so Beachbody calls them online challenge groups. You can call it whatever it is that you want. I like, I run my virtual gym is what I call it, and it's my virtual boot camp. So in that, you are able to run your own groups. We're not going to throw you to the wolves and just say, okay, you signed up as a coach here, you go run your own group and take care of yourself. We actually invite you to our personal groups, and then you can stay in our group as our boot camp until you get familiar, and then you're welcome to start your own. Beachbody has so many different tools for you to run your own challenge groups. So we have our private Facebook group. Obviously, you guys can understand we are judgment-free. We check in daily. We have all kinds of tips. And this is all stuff that you don't have to come up with on your own. You're not required to come up with a bunch of fitness tips and recipes and all these things for people. This is all stuff that we actually provide for you. We teach you how to run them, and you can co-run it with a coach, or you can just be in it with a coach until you kind of get familiar, and then you can run your own. And then we also have daily guides. So Beachbody actually provides guides for you to even create your own challenge group, and then we do as well as your upline coaches. That's a little bit about a challenge group. There are 3 different types of coaches and different ways that you can coach. So you'll hear us talk about a discount coach, and anybody that signs up as a coach is going to receive a 25% discount on anything and everything Beachbody. So there are a lot of people that sign up as a discount coach, and these are people that like say they just really like Shakeology, or they just really like Energize, and they don't want to pay full price, because who wants to pay full price on anything? If you can already get 25% off and you don't need a coach at all, you can do that discount coach option. So this is, like, for me, a lot of my family members, they love being part of this. They love the products that we have, but they're not interested in coaching. You know, like even my mom's like 77 years old. She is considered a discount coach because she wants that discount on her Shakeology. She obviously doesn't coach people. So that is an option, or discount coach option. You get anything you want for 25% off. Like say you're drinking Shakeology regularly, so you want that discount. You're not actively selling as a discount coach. A part-time coach is somebody who really loves the products and they talk about them. Maybe they work a few hours a week, and by work, just helping other people maybe get set up with some of the stuff that they're interested in, and maybe helping somebody get set up with what is the best workout program for them. And then, you know, anything that you do, you're obviously going to earn income. So that's considered like a part-time coach. And then there's a full-time coach. But let me explain to you what this is. This does not mean that you you have to quit your full-time job if you're going to be a full-time coach. A full-time coach can literally be somebody that's working 10 or even 10 or 15 hours a week. But just somebody that has that vision, that wants to kind of do this as something that would maybe replace income or bring quite a bit more income to their life, that would be considered a full-time coach, or somebody that really has more of a vision in taking coaching in the long haul. So you're really ready to help change lives. You are ready to build a team with our help. We can help you do all that. You are ready to run your challenge groups, or start on with ours and then add people too, and then you are ready for financial freedom. So that's what we would consider a full-time coach. Does not mean that you need to replace your job or do this 40, 50 hours a week. But that's just kind of how we lay it all out there. And there is a $15 a month business fee. And so when I tell people that, they're like, wait, that's all you have to pay? That is what you have to pay to be a coach, is $15.95. So $16 a month to be to get your coach fee paid. That obviously covers your websites, that covers customer service. So you guys know, since we're not distributors or sellers, we don't actually have any inventory. We're not trying to like get rid of things. So you don't have to ever keep any kind of inventory on hand. So Beachbody does all of that for you. Beachbody does all the shipping, inventory, all that stuff that you wouldn't really like to do. Beachbody does all that. And it includes all the support and the trainings that you get. And that's all part of that $16. So anybody that has, that is in the military, active military, that is waived for, or a spouse of active military, that is also waived for. And you can cancel. That's another thing too. With coaching, there is no quota. There's no long-term. You have to be committed to this. If you sign up to be a coach and then, the month later you decide it's not for you, that's 100% fine. You can cancel at any time. And if it's within that first 30 days, you actually get a full refund, 100% of your money back on whatever is the purchase. So you're never tied down to something. And that was another concern of mine when I started, is because I wasn't sure of myself, I wasn't sure whether this is something I was going to want to do long term. But you can cancel at any time. There's literally any fee or anything for canceling. And a little bit about our training and kind of what's included. So our challenge groups can be held online in a private app. We have tons and tons and tons of training that Beachbody provides for us on a regular basis. And then we also, as a team, have trainings that we do, weekly calls, numerous weekly calls per week, where we're talking about, new things that we're coming up with, or plans for our team, or plans for our new coaches, and just so much stuff. So you guys aren't going to have to figure things out on your own. There is such a great support system and training system already set in place. And events and workshops. So I talked a little bit about this in the beginning, just all the fun things that we get to go to. Well, there are so many great things that Beachbody offers both corporately that we can go to as like Beachbody corporate, and then there's stuff our own private team events and workshops that we do as well. So you're super well connected, whether it's in person or online. Obviously, it's all accessible via your phone, computer, whatever. And here's a little bit of what the bundles would look like with you getting started. Now, again, because we're not talking about selling anything, like this is something that you personally get started with on your own. So when you sign up to be a coach, you sign up with some sort of a package because you're going to need to work on you. You're going to need to get your, your health going, your results going to be able to help other people. So you would pick whatever is best for you. And then through that, you do not need to, this is not something you have to hold on to and then sell out. This is solely your own investment in yourself and your own health. So right now, everything for May is like super discounted. So that shows these prices here. Everything here listed already comes with your full year of Beachbody On Demand. Now that includes every single program that Beachbody has out right now, and then the new ones that are coming out throughout the year. So you'll have access to every single program on Beachbody On Demand that they've ever created, as well as all these things listed here. So your regular nutrition bundle, and there's like 30 different packages, you guys. These are just the most common that people get, but there are so many other different options too. And let me just say, if you already are a Beachbody On Demand member, which I know some of you guys are, and a lot of you guys that I know they're going to watch this recording, there's actually packages that you pick, which is a completion pack. And so it's going to be a little bit different than this, but basically you guys understand the kind of packages that you get here. And then let me know if you have any questions about that too. So these are the different bundles. This is obviously comes with your Shakeology, and this comes with the pre and post workout. You guys can bundle that together where you have Shakeology and the Energize and Recover, which is a really great option. It's kind of like a full bundle. All right, and we can go over all those questions and details too when we get kind of one-on-one talking when you sign up as a coach, and then you can just let us know via email or a message what it is you're kind of thinking, and we can help guide you through that. So I just encourage you guys to do something that you're maybe afraid of, to step outside your comfort zone, and don't be afraid to do something big, because all of us have been in that spot where we were a little bit hesitant to maybe, if I can see this here. We were a little bit hesitant to maybe start coaching because of all maybe different fears that we have. But just be open to stepping outside of your comfort zone a little bit and changing your life, because guaranteed this will absolutely 100% change your life. And we are just so excited that you guys are here, and that those of you guys that are watching the recording, please feel free to reach out to whoever it is that you invited you here, and then we can move forward with whatever's going to be best for you. You can ask your questions there. I'm just going to pop in the chat box and see what we have. The book Stories That Stick, it's a good for writing your own story. I can't remember. Stories That Stick, yes, is about a way to like connect with, we're talking more about like personal development. We touched on that a little bit ago. So Stories That Stick is a good way to kind of like trigger your memory on finding, your own stories that are connect with you and then with other people. So it's a really good way to connect with other people through your story. Yeah. Are there coaches who work full-time and coach? Absolutely. So there are so many coaches on our team that have all kinds of different things that they do. There are, stay-at-home moms. There are dentists. There are literally the gamut is huge. There are people who are gym owners. There are people who are physical therapists. Like anything, you name it. There are tons and tons of teachers. We've got nurses. Yes, so people do absolutely work full-time and coach full-time as well. Taking before and after picture doesn't have to be in a sports bra either, right? So true. Like my original, before pictures, there were a lot of them that was really hard for me to be in a sports bra. Luckily, I had my husband take some anyway, and I just didn't post those in the beginning. But I took a lot of pictures in, just a shirt and pants. So no, you didn't. Go ahead. You did too.
Yeah, if you look at all of the pictures I have, like that Beachbody has, like even on the billboards, I have a shirt on. So I have a gray tank top. And then I bought smaller sizes as I was losing the weight. So if you look at my before and after, the one that Beachbody has all over, I have a shirt on. I also did take ones where I just had a sports bra or I had my shirt rolled up for myself as well. I didn't think any of my before pictures would ever be shown, but it's nice to have those for your own, because the scale will sometimes lie to you. You will not see the number on the scale going down as much as you would like. But once you take those pictures, I know when I was in like week 2, week 3, I could see the difference between the pictures, even if the scale was only, a couple pounds here and there. So those pictures are super important, just even if it's for yourself.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so if anybody doesn't have any other questions, you can also unmute yourself if you want to say anything. But if nobody has any other questions, I think that we can just tie it up. And then, like I said, whoever it is that invited you today, whether you're on live or watching the recording, make sure that you reach out to them and let them know what it is that you want to start with, and we can move on from there. All right. Thank you guys so much for hopping on. See you later.